further.
Yeah, so let me tell you what I'm thinking about. I mean, you can take it where you want to take it, Mimo, but the stories that Emil has been telling me, and the things I think that I'm really interested in is the relationship between rock and roll and politics in the 1980s, and then into the 1990s too. But especially the kind of things that were happening. I'm really interested in the kinds of things that were happening at PM6,
Hmm.
especially
Hmm.
in the way that people like you were talking about rock and roll, kind of on the eve of the revolution in many ways, and the manner in which that kind of got into the heads and the consciousness
Hmm.
of musicians here, and then kids like Emil as well. So if you could talk a little bit about what was going on there at PM6, the kinds of things that you talked about, what it meant to you, its relationship to the political scene at the time. That would be cool.
Yeah, I will make an introduction. Um, it was always, and before the war and after the war, it was always this tradition, especially urban, uh, of dance evenings. Um, it was tango, then it was jazz, that dancing jazz, uh, I don't know, that commercial jazz with big bands and so on. And we had musicians, very good musicians here in Timisoara, because here was a mixed populations, and especially Germans, Hungarians, and Jews cultivated that musical tradition. They teach their children to play instruments and to go to musical schools or to private teachers and so. And uh, when this social wave from the 60s arrived here with new music. After rock and roll, there were this hippie movement with new music, with experiments and so. Uh, and when young people here saw how the youngsters in Western world, in USA, reacted to that music. It was very popular, very mind-opening, very uh, I don't know how to put it, relaxing in a way that you can express what you feel. It was not repressed. It was not with that worry. How am I react to that? I must be careful to not say something wrong. No, it was freedom. This was the key word, freedom. And young generation here, we talk about that film with the British pop group Shadows and Cliff Richard as a vocalist. That film, Young Ones, it was the title of the film. You can find it. Was extraordinarily influential in not only Romania. I read about it in Yugoslavia, in Zagreb, in Belgrade. They also saw that film, and almost, I don't know, one quarter or 1/5 of the viewers of that film made their own bands with electric guitars, with two electric guitars, drums, and that is, and dancing. It was very, very popular. And in Timisoara, as I say, this wave was felt more maybe than in other towns and regions in Romania, because we have links here with the Western world. Germans had relatives in Germany, in Western Germany then, because Germany was divided now. Serbs had Yugoslavia, which was almost like a Western country, opened. The citizens of Yugoslavia may travel around the world. We had passports. We didn't have passports. They didn't give us passports. It was interesting, a situation which I put it in my FIDI research. Uh, we were very happy that Yugoslavians, Serbs, because here at the border with Romania are Serbia, uh, came every weekend here, um, bringing these things we cannot buy here. Uh, it was some supplements for cooking, Vegeta, well known. You had a pack of Vegeta, and you go to an institution, and with that the door were open.
Why does Vegeta come up all the time?
Yeah.
It's from our culture.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It
You know,
is
I bought some Vegeta.
really.
It's horrible.
So you know, yeah, yeah.
I thought like I put
My,
a
my,
teaspoon.
my grandson, if you don't put, we come in the kitchen and ask Mari, what you are doing? Food. Can I taste it? Yeah. I taste it. It needs more vegetables.
And this is the grandchild, you know. He's
It's just so funny.
5 years older
Yeah.
or 6 years. Yeah.
9.
9 years. Yeah, he grew up. And so they bring here also another the chocolate, the I don't know, blue jeans, of course, and we. We interacted with these people coming from Serbia to trade. They sold their stuff, and they buy another stuff from here. Uh, then the most popular and the most common car in Yugoslavia was the Fiat 600. Fiat 600, the small one, you know. Um, and you don't have many space for luggage there. And when they finished their trade here, uh, these Fiats were on the roof, were this for toilet seats. It was toilet seats on the roof. They bought toilet seats from here because were more cheaper than in their country. You know, it was some very interesting and funny times then. And we linked with their culture, their music. We listened to radio programs. We watched TV. The Timișoara was, I don't know if Emil told you, the roofs of the buildings were full of antennas which were directed to the south, to the Serbia.
Yeah, I knew about that.
And we watched the sports films. They had film program, very good film program with profiles of directors, famous directors. Alfred Hitchcock, all his films, I don't know, 7, 8 films in a row. It was every week a film, and we watched that. Then it was John Huston for spaghetti western, Sergio Leone with Clint Eastwood, and so. And this was very important for us here because our media, our television and radio, didn't put on their program nothing like that. It was mostly propaganda, communist propaganda, and after the 75, 76 began the cult of personality of Ceausescu, which was awful for us. We didn't like that at all. Not we didn't like. We disagree totally. Yeah, we hate. We practically we hate the dictator and the communist regime with all all the people there. And so Timișoara was very vibrant to this currents from abroad, from the west. Also, it's not to take over. Very important was fashion. Fashion, because this is something linked with sex, and in for young people of 80 to 30 years, the sex was a priority. Uh, in Timișoara, first,
Does it stop being a priority after 30?
it depends. It depends. Nowadays, yes, it stops maybe after 25, because young people, I saw them, they are very focused on their job and on money. To work, they work 12 hours a day, without knowing, without realizing that their life is on a computer, on a monitor, and so, and they grab the car and go there, and then in another place, but not they don't have almost at all some space for internal freedom, for relaxing, and for thinking about other stuff, other things, not only job, not only material.
Having dreams about Peter Green.
Yeah. But I was not so young when I dreamed about Peter Green. So, and in Timișoara were these dancing clubs uh, in the communist regime also, after the 1948.
I know about the dances that what was the name of the dance that the communists wanted people, Romanians, to dance? I was reading about it the other day. There was this approved dance.
Yeah.
What was it called?
I don't know. Shake. They have on the records of the only record company from Romania. When they put these small records with dancing music,
Yeah.
it was written "Shake." Shake. It's
Like
the modern.
twist.
Yeah, but
like
I saw a video of it. It was like this: a communist party approved this dance in Romania, the Ceausescu regime, where, and it was kind of like a foxtrot. But nobody. They said nobody danced it. Anyway, sorry.
I didn't know.
No, I also.
But this was a popular dance you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, popular dances, and there were clubs affiliated to these factories, the bigger factories, because it was the era of industrialization. Then in the 50s, in the 60s, a lot of factories we have here in Timișoara also, and every bigger factory had its cultural club, and 2 or 3 evenings in a week were organized dancing seratas, dancing, and then was nothing on the tape, only live music. Music was live, and the groups which played for that dancing evenings were formed with a different mixture. It was German, it was Gypsy, Romanian, Hungarian, and eventually a Serbian, and they have this very strange mix and rich in a way, and they played the hits from United States, from UK, from that. Uh, one guitar player. He was famous for his bossa nova technique and style, and he was more into jazz than into this popular music. But jazz was then popular music, and he was very surprised when a pair of young girls came in the intermission when they have intermission to drink some water or something and to prepare for another set. Um, these young girls came to him, to musicians, to players, and said, "Please, can you play the Chattanooga Choo Choo?" And he said, "You know about Chattanooga Choo Choo?" And they said, "Yeah, we like it very much."
Wait, what year is this?
It was in the 59,
Okay.
60s,
So,
something
yeah.
like that, something like that. Yeah. Okay, Chattanooga Choo Choo was on the radio, was popular, and the radio, as I told you, was very important. We listened, not all the people listened very much radio. Uh, in the workplace also, we had those radios, and in factories everywhere, in offices, and it was radio which was playing all of the day.
And it was radio from Yugoslavia.
Mostly from Yugoslavia, but at home, young people search radio, Monte Carlo, Luxembourg, yeah, Radio Luxembourg. Radio Luxembourg had a top where they presented the newest pop hits from Britain. It was the first time you hear a new song by Beatles, by Rolling Stones, by the Kings was on Radio Luxembourg, and a lot of people listen in the evening. That program was in the evening, not so well received, with static, with so. And the second day, the young people who listen that meet in park, like here, like near the Vega, with a small acoustic guitar, and they try to play what they heard an evening before. And of course, they didn't understood the words, and so, but they improvised something. No, no. It was very much enthusiasm and openness to that culture, and practically young generation felt the need to receive something different from what was served here in Romania. And then appear first discotheques, disco clubs. Disco clubs, which were practically with a program from magnetophone for tape, not for
Real to
reel tape, yes, and the record players also, but more reel to reel. And there was a selection of mostly pop rock music. It was not yet disco established. Disco in 76, 77 came, and these clubs began to function about 74, I think, in Timișoara. It was first disco opened. So we went there to listen to music, not to dance. We were interested in what we were here there. And after more years, after 20, 30 years, I heard how these DJs, these first DJs, made the musical selections. They listened to Radio Belgrade and Radio Novi Sad, which have a better signal, and the sound was cleaner than Radio Luxembourg or Radio Free Europe, and they recorded from the radio, and then they made the selection. They edited. They get out the words of the presenter, and so, and only music, because it was the only possibility to have new music, the newest music. If it was on the radio, on a program, musical program, pop musical program on Radio Belgrade, after a week, you can hear it in Timișoara Disco Club, this music. Now, it was interesting. And another way of purchasing the new music, rock music, for the disco clubs and for private use was from Bucharest, from the company Air Tarom Air Company. Uh, the pilots, the stewards, stewardesses, and so they flew over the Europe, and friends from Bucharest gave them lists. Look, this, buy me the new Beatles records, the new Rolling Stones records, the new, I don't know, Aretha Franklin, the new whatever. And they buy these vinyls, they bring them here in Bucharest, and here was a system, interesting system. They made a pack of, I don't know, maybe 10 or maybe 20 uh, records. It was not only LPs, it was singles and EPs. And they made a pack of, I don't know, 10 or 20 records. And this pack began to circulate around Romania in the cities, and you pay some money to receive this pack, and you have 24 hours these records at your home. And in 24 hours, you must make a selection of songs that you think will have a good success in the club, in a discotheque. It was very fast forward, everything. And then another day, after a night of recording and selecting and editing, another day you must give back that pack, and it goes to another one.
Wait, what was the
For money.
Was it a tape or was it a?
No, it was records.
Oh, so they're handing out records.
A pack of.
Oh, it's a pack
10,
of the records. Okay.
Yeah, a pack of 10 or 20 records, you know. And they made these selections on tape, reel-to-reel tape. And then you must have two reel-to-reel machines to make then the selection of the selected songs to have the appropriate program for club. So it was some work, but it was a labor of love, and also there were involved some money, but not much. Nobody get rich from that. But you have a more spectacular and more pleasant life doing this. You know, disco club, you are a DJ, you have good music, people come to your disco club, not to the others, because you have better music. And so there were friends, there were girls, and it was a kind of easier and more pleasant life than to go to factory every day. Another important factor were students. Students which also had the clubs, the cultural clubs in universities or in Timișoara. It is a building which is the Students' Cultural Center, which is administered from West University. But it's a separate building here in this quarter of town. And there were all kinds of interesting activities. It was amateur theater, and it was clubs of audition. You go there, and a guy, let's say like Emil, is coming with two records, two long plays, and put it. The studio, the students' cultural center had some technical tools, record player, let's say, and put the record on the player. And before it plays, he said few words about that. Now we will listen to the British rock group Cactus, formed by so and so and so, which before were in other groups, and then in Cactus they began to cultivate this kind of blues rock, fulfilled with some elements of progressive music, and then record plays half an hour, and then some words and another record. And this was the audition club, so-called audition club. A friend of ours was doing that, Silvio Genescu. His book is here, Genescu.
Yeah.
And
Maybe with electronic.
he's got the audition club on electronic music, and put Tangerine Dream, Klaus Schulze, and so this German electronic
The
music.
krautrock stuff.
More
This is
electronic
before
than
krautrock.
rock.
Yeah.
More electronic.
Vangelis, Jean-Michel Jarre.
Yeah. Jean-Michel Jarre later. It was later. Yeah. We speak about the 70s now. And so we